Hello guys, this is Kabase. It's Golden Week and I mean that literally for both Japan and in-game as we have a new store event, new memorias, including the next Human Rights Memoria. And no, I'm not talking about White Suit Ichiko. All that and more, so without further ado, let's get started. Starting from May 1st, we'll have a new side store event focusing on our witch Tenen, that is the Flowers of Remembrance and the Cage of Oblivion. This event is part of the ongoing storyline that includes the likes of Irene, Isuzu, and Mariyama squad events. So make sure to read those first before hopping onto this event. And I must say it, this event is something to look forward to. And yeah. Now for the freebies. First, we'll have two login bonus. First is the Karen Asukura release celebration login bonus, and yeah, we're not gonna act surprised when we get to her later. Anyways, this login bonus is for a single day to get a featured Platinum 10 roll recruitment ticket, basically a free 10 pull on any new banner besides the limited ones, something to add to your stash. Next is the Golden Week special login bonus. This is for 10 days to get one SS guaranteed 10 pull, basically the tickets. And then we have the Golden Week campaign. I assume based on the available information as of the making of this video, this is the type where you spend Lifestone to get quartz and other upgrade materials. And lastly, it's the Golden Week free daily 10 roll recruitment. Let me repeat, free 10 goddamn pools for a total of 100 free pools. Honestly, such a great lineup of freebies. Thank you as always, HBR. Now for the gameplay side of things, first we'll have the next Gig Fest, number 3. This is just for the rhythm game players and you are playing for bragging rights. See the asterisk on the bottom right corner. Anyways, next is the new season of Arts Battle. This is for the card game players and for the casuals. If you want, you can get the quartz out of it. And lastly is the usual score attack, challenge number 40, the Scent of Magic. As you show here on screen, the multiply conditions for the next 2 weeks. My tip for this boss is preferably you want someone like Aoi to tank its specific AoE attacks that inflicts debuffs like a lot. And poison, other than that, should be pretty doable, especially if you have the Memoria I'll talk about after the first two. As we now get to the banners. And it's 2 banners with 3 new SS Memorias, and with this update, we'll have the next batch of the 31C Mao set and the next Human Rights Memoria that came too early. Anyways, let's start with the banner that came with the event. First up is Demon General Tenen, who is a dark magic healer. I did the dark part because, Demon General and all that. Anyways, her 8 SP EX skill is a 4-hit Dark Pierce attack that recovers your entire party's DB while granting +1 to +4 SP to all allies except herself the more you cast it in battle. This EX skill has no usage limit and the effects get stronger after 1, 2, 3, and 4th use and after. The skill essentially makes her fantastic for content where you do multiple turns. Her common or non-EX skill, also at 8 SP but only 2 uses, revives a single ally, nothing out of the ordinary except of course reviving an ally's DP since that is pretty valuable. Basic skill to understand, and yeah. Now her LB0 passive number 1, like present and future 31C Mao units, she gets the Waki buff. Then her LB0 passive number 2, basically you need her in the back at battle start for your frontline to get +1 SP at of course battle start only. Then LB3 increases her healing effects. She, despite her classification as a Dark Element Memoria, is more used as a general healer and SP battery that you can basically slot in any team, but of course in the Mao team where she is best at. Next up is the horniest and arguably hottest Demon General, Seira, who is a defender slash buffer version of Tenen basically. Her 8 SP EX skill starts simple, first cast, 3 turn frontline defense up, then after that it keeps stacking. Second use adds 1 frontline debuff removal, and the third use adds another removal plus a large 3 turn frontline skill attack up, and by large I mean it doesn't stack twice. And the fourth use and after grants another debuff removal, totaling 3, plus the defense and attack up mentioned earlier, but also a large Mind Eye, so it doesn't stack twice. Both this and Tenen's EX skills you can basically spam to oblivion. Next up is her passive skill, which She doesn't have a non-EX skill. Basically, she gives you plus 10 OD or overdrive after using her EX skill. Her LB0 passive number 1, same as the other Mao units, basically gives her the Waki buff automatically. And her LB0 passive 2, while in the same category as Tenen, not exactly. Basically, for Seira, she gets plus 2 SP at battle start if she's in the front line, and lastly, her LB3 passive, which synergistic with Tenen, if her allies increases her SP, she gives plus 2 SP to your entire party, and this can recover up to max 30 SP. Basically, with Tenen and multiple EX skill uses later, you'll be swimming with SP, and that's not even mentioning the other Mao or Demon General Memorias with some skills and passives which further increases your SP. Honestly, if you think you're dedicated to running the Mao team, I recommend both units to pull. Just keep in mind the Mao team is basically a higher floor, lower ceiling in comparison to a fully dedicated element team, and yeah. And finally, the last one, and arguably what most of you have been waiting for, the latest human right Memoria, and it's the Pen Ultimate Blaster slash Breaker, also known as SSR Unison Karen, featuring both Karirin and Karin-chan. She is a unison that can switch between Karin-chan, who is more used as a breaker, and Karirin, who is used as a blaster. Now, for Karin-chan, her 14 SPX skill, yes, both of them have separate EX skills, is a 8-hit Pierce crit with a 50% DP modifier. Mind you, this applies super down if you break the enemy's DP. Now, what is super down and why is it different from something like super break? Basically, if you break the enemy's DP and gives it a downturn, you set the enemy's DR to max. So if the cap of the enemy is 999%, for example, you break the enemy's DP with this current chance skill, it will be an automatic max DR, and on top of increasing that maximum by another 300%. So if it's 999, it's now 1299, in which you can use Karirin's 16 SPX skill, which is a 10-hit pierce crit attack that deals massive destruction rate or DR damage, so you can inflict that plus 300% to fully max out that enemy's DR. And oh yeah, this skill is 0 SP if you break the enemy with Karin-chan's skill. This combo EX skills is broken, game changing even. Then their passives. They got 6, including the typical LB1 plus 1 SP when in front every turn. But 5 of them are exclusive to one or the other only. So for Carrie or Karin-chan, her LB0 passive basically makes her attack ignore the element aspect of the E-shield mechanic. Basically, Karin-chan deals normal hit count based damage to the enemy regardless of what element the enemy is weak to. And her LB3 passive is you get plus 25% OD if she breaks an enemy's DP. Now for Karirin or Karin Asakura herself, her LB0 passive gives your entire party except herself plus 1 SP every turn. Simple yet insanely valuable. Then her LB3 passive gives 1 turn party attack up every player turn, and her LB4 passive gives plus 10% overdrive every turn. This Memoria is legit the most insane meta Memoria released thus far, usable in every team conceivable. Well, if you're dealing with multiple bosses, might be a bit tricky, but still very doable. I highly recommend picking up this Memoria because it is absolutely safe in all accounts. But before pulling this Memoria, like every other human right Memoria in this game currently, has a massive asterisk. And for Unison Karen, that is the introduction of the element Admiral or the element Gauges that basically makes Unison Karen a low priority for those with a team with an element Admiral. I should really make that video someday, probably in the summer, to expand it further. But other than that, she is also the unofficial 6th Memoria of the Mao team. Basically, future Demon General Adele doesn't cut it as a blaster with that team compared to Ines and Karen, and yeah. From a general / common perspective, Tenen and Seira are the general supporters of the Mao team, and if you're dedicated to completing that team, you should go ahead and pull for them both. But for those who are continually building element teams, there are definitely better options than getting these two. Eunice Karen is a game-changing Memoria and will be so for the next few months, but you'll eventually notice that you'll start using her less, especially when Ian gets to where JP is currently right now. Both banners are highly recommended to pull as they are amazing general units in the most basic sense, but both banners have asterisks. So if the reasons I explained earlier apply to you, um, that depends. If you want to pull for any of the three, just Karen or just the Mao stuff and all that. Though as always, if you love the characters, their artworks, or want their specific abilities, feel free to ignore my advice and pull for them. The last banners I have to mention are the paid quartz exclusive Golden Week Step Up Recruitment and the Golden Week Featured Recruitment, which are both skips. But for the whales, I would consider pulling on the first one since increased drop rates and all that. And yeah. Sorry for the massive delay with the release of this video. I just have been going through some shit. Hopefully next time the release schedule of these videos, which typically goes up a few days before the update, goes back to normal. Because frankly, releasing these videos after an update drops always leave a bad taste in my mouth. And that's the end of the video, I guess. Please subscribe to the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Just run and watch your 6 right here. So yeah. See you guys next time. Bye.